Hello, I'm NeoGets, and welcome to Feed the Beast Blood and Bones. I decided to do a little video just sort of introducing some of the basic concepts that you need to know really if you're going to start playing this game. It's quite tough, this pack, and dying is really completely part of the game. Any sort of attempts to fully survive are pretty much futile. You're just not going to get very far if you try and avoid dying. You'll end up hiding in a hole and starving to death. So I set up a few things just to show you what you need to know. The basic things you need are these items here from Tinker's Construct. These work pretty much the same as in any other copy of the mod. So first of all, you need 4 sticks to make one pattern. This is slightly different from the usual recipe, but actually a little bit easier, and doesn't really make any major difference. Not entirely sure what the change is for. Once you've made 4 of these, you need a crafting bench, a log of any sort, a plank of any sort, and a chest. Placing a pattern on top of each of these in the crafting window will then create the items that you need. So once you've got those, you head over here and you open the stencil table, and this, you just take your patterns from your inventory, put them in, flick through all the different patterns you want, click the one that you want to make, and then if you put those in a pattern chest, which is next to a part builder, the chest will be an inventory available to you in the part builder here. So then you can just move a part over and craft it. So I've put some materials over here just so that we can have a look at how that works. So you'll notice when you mouse over these that there's the valid materials that can be used to make things with them. And unfortunately, wood is not one of them. So something to keep in mind, that you're not going to be doing that in this one. However, if you go and find some gravel, you'll get a lot of flint. And, sorry, you'll put 3 together to get flint. You need a lot of flint, but not as much as with standard crafting recipes. As you can see here, the material cost is 1, which means that to make the entire pickaxe head is a single piece of flint, rather than the 3 you'd need if you were crafting it normally. And all the tools are available with their flint equivalents that are a little bit basic, but they do the job, and they are sort of the first ones that you can make when you're starting out. And you can see here, flint isn't on the list here, so if you try and make a flint rod, not going to happen. So we put the wood in, and we get a wooden tool rod and a stick, because this one only costs half. So half the material is left over and thrown out as an extra thing. So if I take the wooden tool rod and then move the stick over, it will turn into a tool rod. But you can also just use the stick as the item itself without any trouble. And some tools need a binding as well. Same materials pretty much as the rod, so we can just take that, put the stick in, and it will turn into the binding. Once you've done that, head over to the tool station, select the tool you want to make, put the parts in that you've chosen, and you'll get an item. Now, one of the changes that exist in this mod that aren't in the normal mods are these iguana tweaks for Tinker's Construct, which includes the fact that you can't construct anything using wood and such, and this XP system. Now, tools level up when used on the item that they're for, so a pickaxe levels up on stone, an axe levels up on logs, and so on. Now, as they level up, they get given random enchantments, which are really quite useful. They also seem to get given sort of standard things as well. I'm not 100% sure if I'm accurate on that, but they seem to get faster as well as having random enchantments, but I don't believe the mining level goes up. That you actually need to create the item in question of a higher type. So if we head here, you'll see you've got things like your platinum pickaxe head, quicksilver pickaxe head, all sorts of types here. and these can all mine different types. So a lot of combinations available here, as you can mix and match anything you like in order to make a tool, so long as you've got the pattern and it's a valid material. But anything that you want to make out of a higher material is not possible in this system. Now, one of those things you'll need to do for that is collect sand, more gravel, and clay. Now, you want the clay balls rather than the clay blocks, so if you've compacted them for inventory while running around, break them again at home, put them in a crafting table like this, and you'll get grout. Smelt that, and you'll get seared bricks. Now, I'm not going to show you all the crafting recipes for seared bricks, because as you actually start to build these Tinker's Construct items, you will be given books in your inventory that tell you all the different recipes and things you sort of need to know, that just because they were written for the normal mod without the tweaks, they don't tell you that you need to start with flint in this particular mod pack. So just something to keep in mind, that not everything mentioned in those books will actually be possible. So by the time you've actually gathered some materials, got your tools going, you're going to start starving. And you'll find throughout the world the apples as usual from the trees, and also a variety of different foods, of which these are only a small sample. I just picked a few that I found in the inventory screen without actually really hunting for a huge variety of them. And you'll notice that most of these say they're morsels, and then these ones say saturating. Morsels give you half a hunger bar, and saturating also gives you half a hunger bar, although occasionally it seems to not give you anything. I'm not sure if that's just a visual thing or if they really are that bad, but you can continue eating these after you've filled your food bar to fill your saturation bar. So they're very useful to have on hand to eat once you're filled up, in order to slow down how long it'll take before you're starting to starve again. And meat that's raw is also only worth half a hunger bar, but if you cook it, it becomes a nourishing snack. Now, I think that only restores one hunger bar, but hugely better than the half a hunger bar that you get from anything else. Food is a major issue in this mod. You are going to starve to death repeatedly throughout the duration of this mod. There's just no other way around it. The mod is going to kill you, and as soon as you run out of hunger bars, it's instant starvation. You get a few seconds before it registers that you've run out, and then you just die. So try and make sure you're somewhere safe so you can get your gear back when that happens, because it is inevitable that it will happen. Now, as night falls here, you're going to notice this room is incredibly bright. That's because I've put these little glowstone nooks around purely for YouTube. I've cheated pretty much everything around us in order just to make this video, and if I were to take out all these little nooks, the light level in here would be absolutely appalling. It's automatically set, if I show you, to -30 brightness. You can move this up by clicking in the normal box, hit done, and then when you go back to -30. You have no choice of that. It's going to be there no matter what you do. So you just sort of have to get used to the fact that outside at night is pitch black. Inside, if you don't have a lot of torches down, will be pitch black. I mean, if I just smash out a couple of these, you'll see that already the wall will start to be showing quite a huge change in light level just a few blocks away from a torch. So it really is that quick that the light level drops. And I'm just going to double check. Yes, crafting lighting things. So I couldn't quite remember what I'd put in this chest for a second. Is a bit more complicated. Mining coal is a very deadly thing to do. As you mine coal, it releases a gas. And coal gas is extremely flammable. Used to actually be used on hobs and things in the home. And So it seems that as soon as it hits a torch, I think it is, because just when I've run around sort of in creative with night vision on and broken coal, the gas hasn't done anything. But when I've been mining it in a real situation where it will eventually float up to a torch, it causes a huge explosion that destroys everything that was in your inventory. So it's really troublesome if you get in trouble with it. But a few mobs do drop coal, so if you manage to get your hands on some, 2 sticks put with a piece of coal will get you 2 torches. So a lot fewer torches than you'd normally get, but still one of the best returns of torches you can actually get in the game. But the easiest way to get torches early on is to go running around for sugarcane, turn it into sugar, smelt it, and you'll get sugar charcoal. This, combined with a stick, gives you 1 torch. So there are ways to get torches, they're just not brilliant. And I don't know if I'll be able to show you in here, maybe against the wall here where I've got the dark patches. But one of the nice features of this mod is that as you hold a torch, it actually affects the light level around you. So things get a lot brighter if you're holding the torch. As soon as you put it away to use a tool though, things will suddenly darken. So you can run through a cave, able to see quite well by holding the torch. But then as soon as you put it away to do anything, you're going to be in trouble. Still, very useful if you're down to your last torch just for navigating. As I said, it is pitch black out there. I will run out and show you towards the end of the video if it's still nighttime, but it might not be by the time we get there. But yeah, those are your 2 best ways to get lighting, because these glowstone nooks, you're going to be very lucky if you ever manage to get to the point of making those, as you need to get to the nether to get the glowstone, you need to get the electricity generation going to get the saw to chop up all these bits of glowstone into these tiny little pieces. Or you could just put glowstone around, but then you've got the problem of this very small reach on light sources, which you'll see down here, where I've got a few mobs to show you, just to sort of show some of the mob variety available in this mod. Now these are a glowstone brick, which right now everything looks really bright. You know, you'd think, fine, there's no issue there, but if you look at the ceiling of these little chambers, already dark there, and the middle would be even darker, but I put some more glowstone nooks in here just to save this problem. Now I do apologise for the noise from the creatures over there, but it's a creature that's really useful early game to go hunting. So first of all, we'll take a look at the creepers. If you pay attention in the top right corner to the overlay of what creature I'm looking at, you've got the normal creeper, that's not a problem, but then you've got things like the jumping creeper, which can get to you a lot easier, the dirt creeper, and then scarier ones like the ender creeper and the death creeper. I'm not entirely sure what these 2 do when they blow up, as I've been lucky to be able to trap them and take them out without them looking at me so far. And one thing to note is that as creepers start to hiss and expand before they explode, they actually start creating light. So it's a useful feature if you need it. Much easier to tell that a creeper has seen you, as suddenly there'll be a light source that there shouldn't be around you. Zombies, again, have different varieties. If I can get my hands on one, there we go. There's a fishing zombie back there. There's a hungry zombie, which you'll see actually has a transparent middle. Baby would run in the way. And giant zombies, which seem to come in a couple of sizes. You seem to get a sort of mid-sized zombie and this giant-sized zombie. And all varieties of enemy are available in baby. And there's a lot more than I was able to get in here. They just weren't spawning, so I decided just to leave it there and leave some more of the varieties up for you to find on your own. So in here, we've got a fire skeleton, I think. Oh no, that's actually a fire zombie. I don't know why he's in here then. I must have used the wrong egg. A giant skeleton. Again, they come in a couple of sizes. And there are fire skeletons as well. And I believe fire creepers. I think they all come in that variety. And then we've got the normal ones. a quick skeleton that's quite dangerous. This one, nope, is it the one at the back? One of the ones in here should be a thief skeleton. He seems to have, there we go, nope. No, it seems to have disappeared. I did have one down here. He must have despawned at some point. They've got a sort of eye mask on, which is really cool. And then the baby is a poison skeleton. So a lot of more dangerous things. And there's a lot of ones that do a lot of different attacks that are a lot more troublesome. Now, these manticores are really great. They look terrifying. They swoop at you because they fly quite a lot. They tend to stay around the ground when you've not hit them, but when you hit them, they get this sort of knockback that sends them in the air, and then they swoop at you a lot, and are really, actually quite scary, but really very simple to kill, not worth getting scared over, very worth hunting down, as they have a habit of dropping iron ore and stone and things, so it's a very easy way to get your hand on items that are normally a little bit harder to get your hands on. Now I'm going to see if I left the coal behind here that I think I did. So let's just have a quick look, as I wasn't intending to show the coal in this video, but if I can, then that will be very useful. So I'm just going to break a few blocks here, see if any of the coal appears, and if not, then I'll just give up on this bit. But I was just wondering if I can actually show you the coal gas that they give off. So let's have a little bit more of an attempt to find the coal. Nothing that way, and if there's nothing here within a few blocks, we'll just give up on that for the moment. Yeah, it's looking like we're not going to manage it, so sorry about that. There's a load of it behind the walls somewhere, but this was more just to show you a few of the large variety of mobs that exist in here. Now, there's just one more thing that I've remembered that I forgot to show, that I just want to let you know before I finish this video, which is the things that you can make on these tables. Again, that's just I was killing a few creatures with this one earlier. It levels up as you hit things. The damage you do, I think, translates to XP, but the type of mob it is, passive mobs give you less XP. As you can see, this one's leveled up from what I was hitting. If you make stone versions of the tools, because you may have noticed on some of the patterns, say stone is a valid material, but none of them can actually be crafted into tools. Everything here is only to make a cast for when you're pouring metals, so not as useful as you'd think. The flint is definitely what you want to be sticking with, as that's sort of your only way to do it. Now there we go. You get these blood splatters whenever you get injured. You and the creatures can both leave blood splatters, which is quite cool. This zombie actually has a bow, so it's harming us quite a lot. This is actually not going very well, but that's fine because I wasn't necessarily intending to actually survive running outside. It was more just to give you an idea of things. Now, as you can see, I'm really injured. Actually says in the top left corner that I'm dying because of how low my health is, and I've got a slowness and mining fatigue stat on me because of that. Now, this is a example of a plant. They all sort of look similar to that, just like grass with colours in. Very easy to spot and very numerous. Now, the last thing, you can make armours much like you normally could, but when you stick them on, they've got this special effect of giving you one absorption heart, for leather at least. Each piece seems to give you another heart. I'm not sure if they stack, as I've never actually managed to stay alive long enough to end up with numerous points of armor. Just I keep dying, losing what I had, making the extras, but really actually very good as your early armor. And just in case I didn't say it, I can't remember if I did, I have not found any way to farm these fruits. If you take one of them, put it in your inventory. Okay, they seem to have actually stopped that. They previously would give you the seeds, but there's no actual way to use the seeds. And if I type in seed, you'll see there's all sorts of seeds in the game, but I have not found any way to till soil in order to get that. Because if you type in hoe and have a look, none of these have recipes at all. This one does, but the recipe includes a cobalt hoe, which you can't make. The only hoe which actually has a recipe is this reversing hoe, but this has a side effect. It actually doesn't till ground, so it's completely useless. There's also the scythe in the game, which has a recipe. You can make these. They have a useful effect of being able to cut down crops in a 3x3 area. Unfortunately, the scythe can't till the ground either. The mattock you can make on here, it exists here, so you can craft it. Also, doesn't actually till the soil. It will turn grass into dirt, but it won't actually till anything, so isn't actually going to help you at all to get more food. You just are going to be left starving to death once you run out of these things. And just remembered, if I can get off the window there, candleberries, I think, yes, can be crafted into candles somehow. There we go. You need a pot, 4 candleberries, and you get this candleberry wax, which you can then combine into these candles. So it's another way of getting lighting. So it's worth weighing up whether or not you want to actually eat the candleberries or store them as another lighting source. Because as I said, other than sugar, coal is quite hard to get your hands on, and I haven't actually been able to grow sugarcane. As soon as I cut any of it down, it then remains at the one high that I leave behind. So candleberries, also a very useful way to get your hands on lighting. And just one other thing that you should note, as it tells you here when I click on this, spawn location will be set when you click on the bed, but then it leaves you to enjoy the night. You can't actually sleep. So worth making for setting your spawn, utterly useless if you thought they were going to get you away from your doom that will meet you if you venture out there at night, and often during the day, as a lot of the mobs will still be around during the day. So I hope you've enjoyed this little sort of overview of things that I feel you need to know if you're going to take on this mod pack, because it is really, really hard. I haven't played as hard a mod pack that has been this fun before. I've played other ones that are very unforgiving, but they were unforgiving in a way that you just couldn't seem to even start making progress in without a lot of luck. This one actually really well made, and with a bit of thought you do actually progress. Just every time you feel like you're making really good progression, be aware you're about to die and probably lose everything. It's the theme of the pack, and so long as you are ready for that, it's really, really fun, and is a really great change from the usual pace of this game. So I'd check it out, but be aware of the challenges, and hopefully you'll be able to have a better start than I did. I died so many times before I worked out to make tools out of flint and things. It just was embarrassing, my start, so fingers crossed you'll have a better start than me. And leave a comment if you'd like me to do videos similar to this, just giving a quick overview of how to get started on other mod packs, or just an overview of what's in other mod packs if they're quite easy to understand how to get started, so you'd just like to see some more of the contents. And I'll see what I can do about making more videos of this type. Otherwise, I'll just go back to the usual content, so I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye!